Canary Street Press and HarlequinAudio present Lawbreaker by Diana Palmer. Performed by Todd Mclaren. To Clay and Lisa with love. Dear listener, I had more fun than you can imagine with Tony and Odalie. They spent the first book in my Everett family trilogy, The Loner, glaring at each other. But in this book, well, read it and see for yourself, LOL. When I wrote Heather's Song back in the 80s, I had only a handful of published titles. And honestly, I never dreamed I'd live to see over 206 of my novels published. It has been an honor and a privilege to have so many in print, and to have such a large following of readers who have become like family to me. Since I lost Jim in 2021, and my German Shepherd, Dietrich, in May of 2024, those close friendships have meant even more. I have one more Everett hardcover to write, and that's John's story. I'm looking forward to it because of the very unusual pet and girlfriend who enter his life. You'll see what I mean later. Thank you all for your kindness, your empathy, your friendship, and your prayers throughout the last 3 difficult years of my life. Having all of you around has made it so much easier to get past the grief. Much love, many thanks, big hugs, and best wishes from your biggest fan, Diana Palmer. 1. Odalie Everett sat seemingly relaxed in her seat on Tony Garza's private jet, but inside she was a bundle of nerves. She and Tony had been adversaries since their first meeting, years ago. He mostly looked through her, and he could be bitingly sarcastic. It should have deterred her from thinking about him, but it didn't. He was gorgeous. She watched him out of the corner of her eye as he lounged opposite her in a chair, sending text messages on his phone. He frightened most people who knew him. Tony had been a crime boss for a significant portion of his life in New Jersey. He had a reputation that sent chills down the backs of people who crossed him. He didn't look like a man who made his living on the wrong side of the law. He was tall and husky and drop-dead gorgeous, with black eyes and wavy black hair, cut conventionally short, no beard or mustache, a big nose and big hands and feet, high cheekbones, and a piercing stare that could go through people like a sliver of ice. Not that Odalie wasn't gorgeous, too. She looked like her mother, Heather Everett, with long, light blonde hair and blue eyes and a lovely face. Besides that, she had a voice like an angel. She'd studied opera for years now, been in various local artists' programs in her native Texas, been overseas to study with master coaches. Now she was living in New York, near the art gallery and museum where Tony made most of his money, studying with a famous local coach, while she girded her nerve to apply to the Metropolitan Opera. She'd never shared her stage fright with her mother, who was a former singer. Her family had sacrificed so much for Odalie already. She told herself that she could overcome it. But several therapists had been unable to help her break through the fear. And one doctor had warned her that the stress of performing daily on stage could eventually cause cardiac issues. It was the dream of her life to sing at the Met. Or it had been, before Tony stormed onto the scene when Odalie's brother, Tanner, was in danger and almost killed for something he'd witnessed overseas. Tanner's wife, Anastasia, Stasia in the family, worked for Tony. He'd discovered her phenomenal art skills, had put her through school so that she could work as an art restorer for him, and her paintings, almost lifelike, sold for a fortune in his gallery. Tony called her his adopted daughter. He'd been widowed years ago, his young wife having died of cancer, and he had no children. He looked after Stasia, pampered her,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?